Good morning, good morning. Today we're going to take a look at some XRP, some Ethereum, and the Sigma coin. So, all right, we've got ourselves a larger market capitulation, right? And everybody's asking, which of these two universes do we live in? Are we going to have the one where we go into spring, bounce out, back test that region, and we're out of here? Or are we going to go into the Goblin Town one where we break down, back test this region, and reject to a lower level down into the dollar region for XRP? We will find out together. But right now, we should be sitting on the sidelines, not doing anything, just watching the party. And that's what the indicator's been telling us. We've added some additional, not shown here, it's part of the Discord community, some additional quick trades that come into play here that are pretty awesome, and some stop loss management as well. So yeah, if you want to come and join us, feel free to get some 160 million Sigma, and you too can be part of the party. So anyway, here we go. So we have these two pathways. We're just kind of watching how price action's playing out right now. And then with this, we're ultimately going to get some decision making here pretty soon, and we'll just kind of monitor how this plays. But a couple interesting things that I noted here today is we had our capitulating breakdown, and we have basically some 5-wave breakdown that happened here. So we had, let me zoom out actually a little bit more. And so we had a potential 5th wave that showed up here for this breakdown to the downside. With that, well, that's definitely not the time interval. There we go. And with that, we had spiked to the upside, and then we're now looking to see if we can finish this 5th wave down, right? And what we're looking for at this point is whether or not the count is in or not, or we have to go a little bit lower. So when we zoom back in on the shorter time frames, I'm seeing that we have a potential, you've got wave 1, 2, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 4th has yet to manifest, right? So what we've got is this 4th, but we didn't set this 5th. Okay, so this 5th right here. So basically, I was expecting this to come down and close down into these levels, down into $1.44, and it didn't. It set a higher low. Okay, so what we're going to be watching now is, does this turn into most likely a falling wedge? So we end up having something along these lines where it does this kind of crazy stuff and messes with everybody who's trying to leverage this thing. And then we get, a little bit short of a lower low, bounce back up again, and then one more low that plays in. So this is kind of where my thesis is right at this point, is that we might do one more of these before we have to get out of this region. So this is how we're, how I'm thinking of it, which is this falling wedge. And what's interesting, and the reason this is kind of still in my mind, is that Ethereum did actually go in and do this wedge pattern and actually already set the lower low, and Ethereum is now working its way back out off the lows to come back and either back test and reject or continue onward from here. So we're going to need to give this some more time to see how this plays out, but this is my initial thought at the moment, is that because we didn't set a lower low yet, we either A, got this move truncated to the downside, or B, we've got ourselves a falling wedge that's in play here, and we are going to eventually sweep these lows down here. So wait and watch. That's what we're doing. We're just in cash at this point in time, and we're just seeing what they're going to do. Enjoy the show. All right, now jumping over to the Sigma coin, we've got ourselves the same type of story here. Basically, a full cascade of liquidation selling that occurred with panic selling as everything started falling, and now we do have our first glimmer and gleams of a daily RSI reset, along with RSI potentially Stotch turning back up again. So I'd like to see this finally start get out of here, because a lot of emotional capitulation manifested in memes here, and we're now starting to see the buys step in. So ultimately, that's kind of how we're looking at the larger picture here. And Sigma, oh yes, what I wanted to do for Sigma is quickly go over what this has done for our targets. So when we zoom out, we've got a good bad from going lower like this, assuming that we're going to at least get a retrace. And the retrace would take us up 665%, pushing us back up to 3.23 million. Okay, so that's one nice little thing there. Next is if we end up getting a full 1.618, that would take us up to 95 million. And that would be a 234x from here. And then lastly, if we start hitting some higher targets, which would be expected, we'd be looking at a $2.8 billion market cap, which would be wild, but could happen. You know, if XRP is on its way out up to the upside, it would take all of the memes with it to the upside. So ultimately, if this is the case, we'd be looking at least a 600% potential if we get a retrace to the 618, which is common, at least that much. So we'll be watching that, monitoring that, and hopefully we can all be winning here. So, but yeah, so far the daily has fully reset. We've got that happening here on XRP. I'm sorry, Sigma. And then in XRP, we've got this potential falling wedge setup that we're watching and monitoring. It could also just keep going higher, right? But this is just my thesis at the moment because I don't see the fifth wave coming in. There should be one more breakdown. And this may even do a falling wedge along these lines. We may even do something like this where we do an ABC, where we go with an A. Oh my goodness, why is this so glitchy today? We do an ABC and we go A, B, C up like this, and then we get this 5 wave to the downside fall, right? We might get something like that. So we'll just have to wait, watch, and monitor and see how that plays. But the one thing that is weird is that Ethereum has already completed the 5th wave, and so maybe we got truncated, and because Ethereum's already done it and XRP came up short, could be bullish. So we'll just kind of have to wait and watch. So, all right, guys, we'll check in tomorrow, and thanks so much for watching.